for joining us as we take a closer look at the recent release of Sketch, otherwise known as
Crayon Chaos. The doodle apocalypse is upon us. Let us all grab our erasers or die.
Wow. Did you have that much planned, or is that all spontaneous?
Most of it was spontaneous. I got a little bit of script. That's about it.
My name is John Newton, science fiction author, and I'm joined today by the spontaneous
Eric from Your Brother in Christ.
Yes, this movie came out just in a little less than 2 weeks ago. August 6th, it debuted, and it came out by Angel Studios, produced it, or at least distributed it. And that's one of the keys that we're going to find out here in a minute. Before we get started, let's smash that like button, subscribe, and tell us in the comments, is Sketch worth your theater ticket? Now I'm count them, 8 subscribers away from 1,000. So let's push that over.
Very close.
Yeah. Let's push that over and see if you're the lucky 1,000. If I were there, I'd be like sitting on the sideline saying, okay, 999.
I want someone to get 999 and go up, down, up, down, up, down, up,
Just
down,
keep
up,
on
down,
going.
up, down. Just mess.
Please don't do that. Please don't do that.
Subscribe, unsubscribe. Subscribe, unsubscribe.
So Sketch came out August 6th, 2025 with the tagline, "Her imagination brought them to life. Now it's up to her to stop them." Sketch follows Amber, played by Bianca Bell, a young girl grieving her mother's death, who channels her emotions into vivid, macabre drawings of monsters. Her father,
mildly.
Yeah, we're going to get into that in just a minute. Her father, Taylor, struggles to hold the family together while preparing to sell their home. When Amber's sketchbook falls into the magical pond.
That was real.
What is it? His name is Dave. No way. His name's Dave?
Yes, Dave it is.
Dave.
When it falls into a magical pond, her drawings come to life, unleashing chaotic crayon-drawing creatures onto their town. Not just crayon-drawn, but other media as well, which does make a difference. Amber, Jack, and their friend Bowman must stop the monsters while their father Taylor and Aunt Liz navigate the chaos to reunite the family. It's a mix of family drama, fantasy, humor, and light horror. And that last bit was a little bit more surprising. Yeah, well, it depends on what your age is, right?
I would say that one of those definitely stands out compared to the others.
So our ratings. If you happen to have seen this movie or have any desire to see it whatsoever, I encourage you to drop your comments in your ratings into the chat so we can take a look at that as well. On a scale from 1 to 10, Eric, drum roll, please. What would you rate this?
2.
2.
I was looking forward to the end.
Wow.
I was like, can I go home now? Can I pay someone to watch this for me?
Wow.
I did not enjoy this movie.
Wow. I would give it a 4. I was struggling a little bit, and in some ways it had much better rating than that, but other ways didn't. And I think the negatives unfortunately outpaced the positives on that. So, spoiler free, what was the good, bad, and ugly for you on your rating? Why did you give it a 2? Measly
2. Mostly, I guess the doodles looked coolish. I mean, they did decent on the animation.
Okay.
I mean, they're kids' drawings. They look like kids' drawings. And they had their own weaknesses. That was kind of cool.
Yeah.
And it was based on what they were drawn with. So that's cool. I like that.
Okay.
If you want to know the bad is the end-all message, the lack of any actual spiritual guidance in the entire, or spiritual meaning in the entire movie, even though, again, this is supposed to be created by Angel Studios, or at least produced by Angel Studios, has the Angel Studios label on it, which is supposed to come across as some sort of Christian film. This is bleh.
So if you expect it to be a Christian film, your rating would be low. How would your rating be if you did not expect this to be a Christian film?
Probably like a 3.
Oh, okay. Not much better.
You know, it's like a 2 going for a 1. Unless they had like actual anti-Christian message. That's the only way I think this could be worse.
Okay. So I would give it on the good side. The reasons why I would give it some points here is the humor. It was kid relatable and quick cuts, wordplay. I thought the humor was pretty well in.
What humor?
There was.
I must have missed humor.
You sure?
Maybe I went to the restroom during that time.
You must have. You must have. No, there was some good humor there.
I guess. Kind of, in my opinion, kind of felt forced. At least the kids sections kind of felt forced.
Okay.
What kid uses the word covenant in its actual intended form? Give me your covenant. What?
Well, that might be a word that she just heard, and that would have
the dad was lost.
Well, because it came out of context. Okay, so the tone emphasizes the film's emotional core. So I think there was a positive for the tone here, that the fact that they were grieving the recent death of their mother, the kid's mother, the father's wife. And there was a healing part throughout it, and it was healing through art. So I can understand from a psychological standpoint, the girl was acting out, or at least in her drawings, and saying, "What's going on with this?" And the school's psychologist's response was, "It's better to put it down on paper like that than actually do something." So,
yes, no.
How would you would disagree with that?
Yes.
Okay.
Because sometimes if you dwell on it and put it in the paper and actually involve yourself in creating the actual event in your mind, yeah, well, there you go. We got ourselves a little school shooter here.
Well, I would tend to disagree. I think there is.
What was she drawing?
Yeah.
Okay. What was it? Was
so,
not.
So they were fairly violent, and they were of at least one other child in the school. So
we're talking like the pictures themselves would be like R-rated content if it was put actually literally into a movie.
So let me get back to the whole thing about psychologically. Yes, it is good to work through some things, whether it's a journal that you're getting some of your emotions out and stuff like that. But it can get to a point where if it's dwelling too much, then it becomes an obsession.
And that's where yes, if she was just putting down her feelings on it and then reviewing it later, okay. But the problem was the psychiatrist set it up to fester. She's the only one that gets to see this. She's the only one that gets to dwell in this.
So you're saying she being the girl?
The girl, yes. Right. She dwells in this. This is her world. And she panics if that book is anywhere.
So we're going to get to more of this in a bit, but I'm trying to get through the good, bad, and ugly. So there was the tone. I believe this is a bit of a cross between Jurassic Park and Inside Out. Jurassic Park being the monsters they get out, Inside Out being the psychological part of it. And the acting was good. I thought Bianca Bell's outstanding performance as Amber, the girl, I think she did a very good job. And the same with Hugh Lawrence as her brother, Jack White. I think both those kids did a good job with the acting, which child acting that's difficult to do.
That is true.
Be able to capture that.
The
visual, I would also agree with you on visual effects, as this is a lower budget film, and it did not feel CGI, maybe because it was so far away from the uncanny valley that you don't have to try to make the perfect T-Rex on this.
No, in fact, it would be
a kid drawing.
It would have been a negative in my opinion.
So the giant blue creatures with snake legs, the eiders, which would be like spiders with eyeballs in their head, and they would come around and take things away and sneak them out,
including the person's eyeballs, and that was part of the list that she gave for her dad. By the way, those spiders were made to steal his eyeballs. So they were hand drawn and they were put into this live action world. So I thought that part was good. The emotional depth, I thought the emotional depth part was good because the family loss and struggling with that, both as from the father's point of view, how he dealt with it negatively by hiding some pictures of his wife and things like that was going on. And then the son and the daughter as well, dealing with that. So I thought that was not, that was good. Okay, the bad part, PG rating warned that this is darker than a typical Angel Studios, especially something that appears to be geared for kids. Be cautious. This is not something that you would take your 5
or 6-year-olds too. I would say maybe early teens and above. If that, what would you
Of course,
say?
that's not their target audience. I'd say the target audience is probably the kids' age.
Yeah,
in
the
the
actors' age in the show, and I thought that was
that's
misguided.
way too young.
I believe they misguided the marketing with this because it appeared to be head for that, marketed as Angel Studios, which Christian so far have been Christian Fair. Although they've been dealing with dark themes like Sound of Freedom.
That's perfectly fine if they're dealing with dark themes. If they've got a Christian message, at least somewhere in there. This one's very hard to find.
It did not. Message. And we'll get to a reason why that for a bit. I didn't know this at first, but a little bit of digging showed the reason why you don't have a Christian message in something that came from Angel Studios. Poor pacing. It lost momentum in several parts. You do have the monsters attacking, and it drops for a lot of the drama that's in there. I think that was was in there.
Yeah.
Now the big ones that took out, besides it was going, there's a few surprises. There's 3 things that you need to know about this movie. We're going to get to in a bit. So I'm going to keep a couple of the negatives here for that. There are too many unknowns. Weak world building. World building, they didn't give you enough to really land on. And I'm trying to do this spoiler free. And you can see through some of the trailer we're going to see here in a bit. You have this pond that brings this stuff to light, but there's no real understanding of what the limitations are and how it can actually seriously be reversed permanently, anything like that. Weak final boss battle because we don't know what had to be done. There was too many unknowns. You're fighting this thing, and you don't know if this is it. Is killing the big boss going to be the end? And there's more out there, and
they definitely could have set up the big bosses better, because I think the big boss definitely could have played a much better role.
Now the big boss was a psychological aspect of her own struggles, and that was good.
That was the good part of
that was good.
Bad boss, but undefined.
And then finally, from a Christian point of view, I was expecting this to be more of a Christian movie, and if these are sort of demonic questions, which is a big thing, are these demons? And if so, this is not how you do spiritual warfare. So if you're setting yourself up for that expectation at the beginning of the movie, from a Christian point of view, it's like it's just a fantasy, and so you don't really expect to see true spiritual warfare and just kind of a fantasy film. So the critics, Ebert.com, praise it as a beautiful ode to art's transformative power, implying a high rating, 8 to 9, around 10. Hollywood and Toto gave it a 2 out of 4, which would translate to a 5-star out of 10, calling it too scary for kids and questioning Angel Studios marketing.
Oh, Hollywood actually got pretty decent with that one.
Paste Magazine rated it 8.7 out of 10 for its creativity and Amblin-esque charm. Metacritic gave it 78 out of 100 based on 11 reviews, with user scores giving it 5.8 out of 10, showing mixed audience reaction. So I think it all has to do with expectation, which is because of marketing. And if you're set up for one thing and you get another, even if it's well done in its type of genre, if it's not what you're expected, it doesn't matter.
And even then, Angel Studios always struggled with marketing. I gotta say that's probably one of their weakest points. Just with all the movies that we've watched from them, is their marketing has been their weak point. Even when they're really good movies, it's like, well, no one even heard about this.
Yeah,
because of their marketing.
There's some like this. Now, this one I did see a lot of advertising for. I don't know, did you see a lot of that? Oh yeah. Man, I did.
I didn't see a thing.
On social media, I saw a lot coming up. I believe even on YouTube, I saw advertising for it. So maybe, nobody, it's not like back in, I don't know, the 80s or even the 90s when you have broadcast TV, everybody pretty much sees the same channels. Everything's so specific, targeted marketing that you may never see something where somebody else does. Right. And I would think you have younger children, right?
Yes, I do. And I was going to take them there, but then I found out that it's not that good.
Okay.
And I'm glad,
or at least not for them.
Glad I didn't.
But you would have been the target audience. They would have targeted.
As a father of children, yes, they should have targeted me.
but they didn't, which may not be bad because it really wasn't for that age group, right? So maybe it ended up being good for their marketing.
Wow, I still think their marketing sucked.
Okay, so I'm going to check.
I think it shows because I had when I went to the movies, I had the whole movie theater to myself.
Okay, so it sounds like something I'd enjoy as a kid. Sad for Angel to get another flop. I don't know if I'm not sure how it's doing in a theater in terms of when it had a pretty wide distribution. I think 2,000 theaters were doing it, so it did have wide distribution. I personally saw the market
poorly marketed though, as this kids thing. It's not going to do well because parents are going to go there with their young kids and then get ticked off.
Yeah. So when I was in the theater, I did take my daughter with me. She's mid-teens, and this is more laughable for her if her brother, who's a couple of years older than her, were to come with her. Their goal was to laugh at all they saw Fantastic Four with me, and they were making so many wisecracks over there. And these theaters are so empty anyways. Like, you guys can go ahead and do this. I'm really going to bother anybody. But that they got the most entertainment about making those wisecracks. And I think that would have been the same with this movie as well, even. For her, the scary parts didn't really matter. They just rolled off her back. There's nothing really to it at all. But for a younger kid, maybe like 5 or something, that
would be a horrendous show to watch with them.
Yeah.
It would give them nightmares.
Kids' movies in particular have been really a miss for decades now. Disney had a bit of a new gold age in the 90s. Now it's all propaganda. I would agree. You look at...
I'm not sure if this would... I don't know if I'd classify this as necessarily like propaganda.
No. I think what he's saying is that for Disney.
Oh, Disney. Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So in the 90s, it really did have a golden revival.
Yeah.
You know, you had I think it started with Lion King, and then they had those others, and then it appeared that Disney was just this monster corporation that was gobbling up all new IP.
The early 20s, but that was about it.
Early 20s?
Early 2000s. Because it was decent then, and then
they picked up Pixar.
Downhill.
I think that's what it was. They
picked up Pixar, and they were decent for a little bit with Pixar, but then not long after that, they just all fell apart
because they sucked the life out of these new these other companies that they take, and they basically incorporate and indoctrinate. Pixar is now just part of the beast.
Wow,
with the rest of them.
Most of my kids now just watch the old shows.
I know. It's like
just watch the 90s stuff with them. It's like, this stuff was good and they like it.
From what I've seen, it kind of feels like Twilight Zone vibes.
I enjoy the Twilight Zone more.
Well, so there was the pacing and the writing. It's just it gave me more world. If it was a discovery of what this pond was and how it worked, and everything came together, and they kind of explored it on their own, and sort of like a, I don't know, Goonies type of adventure.
That would, if it was more adventure oriented and less drop the horror stuff, and it ends up being adventure oriented, or even like it switches around like a fairy tale sort of like, okay, she's got her own little private area in these woods, and she's got all her drawings that have come to life in this woods, and she goes in there and they're all together, and then some bad drawings get involved, and then she's got to help save the new drawings against the old ones, and that helps her work with her difficulties. That would have been a good, decent movie.
Yeah.
That would have been a decent movie.
Yeah. So there's a couple of ways you could probably make this better.
Oh, yeah. Wow. Yeah. It's a 2. It wouldn't be hard.
Oh, I wouldn't give that. I was almost going to give it a 6 in some ways. In some ways, it did have some more redeeming value, but I think because the expectations were something different, with this being Angel Studios, and there's also language in there too.
There's language.
That was one of the things that
not
surprised
young kid oriented, even though that's definitely what I thought it was.
Yeah. So another comment here from Thomas Hall, reminding me of Caroline.
That was a very
Coraline.
dark
Highly
movie.
Underrated Tim Burton movie.
That would not be for young kids either.
No.
But it's
you're
better written.
Doing a sketch. The name of the movie. I don't know about a movie called Sketch. Okay, so let's roll back into another. We're kind of clipping through bits and pieces of the trailer. So let's do another.
I found this place in the woods. We dropped Amber's notebook in it. And now I'm worried that Amber's drawings might be alive.
Alive. So a little bit of trivia. Now this starts to piece things together behind the scenes. Why I think that the marketing may have been misguided with this, and the way that they handled the kids in the movie. You know, you look back on E.T. way back in the 82, maybe 83. I think it was 82. There was cussing with the kids in there too. So you do have that coming in, but not what you would expect from Angel. Angel was sort of like this hallmark, the stamp on there to say, hey, there is a certain level of clean here. Again, if you look at Sound of Freedom.
Granted, we expect there to be, if they're dealing with dark topics, for there to be darkness in it,
right?
But not to be the full focus, and definitely not something that, oh, Angel Studios put their stamp on this. Oh, it's aimed for kids. Okay, I can trust this.
Right.
You would be very disappointed.
Right. Indie Roots sketch wasn't greenlit by Angel Studios.
Then why do you have the logo everywhere?
It was an indie project by Seth Worley that Angel picked up for distribution.
Well, then that was stupid of them.
This is why it's a departure from their usual faith-based content. Yeah, if they would do it, I would put very little small down at the bottom, rolling credits and stuff like that. Angel
I wouldn't
Studios,
even put it on there.
Definitely not the advertising. I'm saying it's the final at the end of the movie, rolling credits. You have them. Everybody's left the theater.
Yeah,
there it is.
Maybe a little thing down there. Definitely not involve yourself with the advertisement on this. Mostly because, again, this creates brand confusion.
It does.
And Angel Studios, for a while, it's like, okay, if they're doing a kids show, okay, that should be, safe for me to take my little kids to. Definitely, if that's, oh, look, I'm seeing kids about my kids' age, maybe a little bit older. Oh, this would be good for me to go see with my kids. No.
Yeah. So Jack Ray said,
looks like a horror.
It's a horror movie for kids. It is light horror, and it is on that level. I mean, there's some fighting and some scary looking stuff for preteen age kids and lower. This would be kind of tough.
Yes, there's no person who is killed on screen. There are a lot of pictures in her picture book about things happening.
Yeah. And
blood and guts and gore in her picture book.
Yeah.
Which I still have issues with. But as far as the actual show goes, no, there's no blood, guts, and gore. Well, there's some blood, but no guts and gore. It's like a drop of blood. Oh, he scratched his head. That sort of level stuff.
Yeah.
But
Jack said mixed messages from that studio.
Unfortunately so.
Yeah. It seems like they're trying to get their footing on some things. I don't know if it's a...
I think they're trying to do too much. They seem to be, in my opinion, trying to spread themselves too thin.
It may be that. It may be a fact of needing cash flow, working with that. I don't know. I'm not sure what the deal is. But it does have, again, marketing. This is not the first movie we looked at that had poor marketing on it. It would have been poorly served because of it. Yeah. That's a big difference. And this is Seth Worley's debut. This was his first feature film as a writer, director, and editor, following his work in commercials and short films. So in that regard, I think there's some things that we've talked about, like in our review of this, that pacing and some other aspects that could be handled differently with this from maybe a director-writer's point of view. I think that the biggest problem, though, is that this was just a secular movie coming out, and it really is.
It really is a secular movie with a message that I actually do not agree with.
Yeah.
In the end.
Yeah. So that's one thing that was surprising about this is no faith-based. 3 things that you should know about the movie Sketch. We've already talked about number 1, the dark tone for Angel Studios. Unlike Angel Studios' typical faith-based film's uplifting content, The Chosen King of Kings, sketch leans into horror-lite territory with creepy, glittery monsters and jump scares. Critics noted it feels more like A24 or A24 Blumhouse than Angel's usual fare. And so we'll take another quick look at part of the trailer, and maybe you'll get some more of a taste here.
Amber drew that? I know we're supposed to be scared of it, but it's kind of beautiful.
Yes, a little bit here or there. The second thing you should know is this is genre mashup. Sketch blends family comedy, adventure, and there is, you would say it is family, because it is focused on this particular family.
That it is.
Fantasy, horror, evoking an 80s, 90s classics like Gremlins or Small Soldiers. It's not pure horror film. It has enough scares to warrant caution for sensitive kids or younger kids. There's some pretty scary scenes with, at least from that point. I mean, I wasn't scared. My mid-teen age daughter was not scared either. But you skull-faced demon-like things or venom-like vines that are coming out. So this is, that kind of stuff that's happening. The third thing that you should know is this is a PG rating. There's a bit of a controversy with this.
PG-13.
Was it PG-13?
No, it's PG. It definitely, in my opinion, should be PG-13.
Yeah, some parents found it too intense, citing profanity, bastard, dumbass, and scary imagery. There was another term that they would use for this one particular kid in there. They did censor themselves when they call him a beehole. I wouldn't want my kids calling each other a beehole. I mean,
the way that kids treat each other was horrendous. Granted, the kids can be quite mean, but
yeah,
still,
yeah, it
was definitely not. This is how kids are supposed to act.
Yeah. So, if you brought your little ones into it, you'd probably be leaving in the middle of the show. So, a practical takeaway for viewers: if you're bringing kids, know it's more Goosebumps than Toy Story. And just this level that's in there, and knowing that, and it's, again, not a Christian film, and it's difficult. I'm not even going to do the Christian themes that we usually do in films, because I think it's going to be a little misguided in this movie, because it was really kind of put forward as being Christian because of the marketing and stuff.
Because of the marketing, yes. I
don't want to say here are the Christian themes in the movie, and then kind of give it that stamp as well. I think this is one that just, I don't know.
We've done Christian themes out of secular movies before, but yeah, since this is portrayed as this is supposed to be a Christian, if this is supposed to be a Christian movie, there should be one Christian theme that's pretty prevalent, at least at the end. In the resolve would be nice. There's not.
The resolution at the end.
At the end.
Yeah, I would think so too. So what's the message? It's a good question. The main theme in this is it centers around this one girl who the kids have lost their mother, and both kids and the father are grieving, but they're all grieving in their own way, and they're trying to sell their house. There's a lot of transition that's happening and some difficulty in school and things like that. Her way of acting out or working through some of the emotions, and you can debate whether this is a good way to do it or not, is drawing in her sketchbook. But her drawings are demonic, vicious, horrific,
mass murder level.
Yeah,
like, okay, we might have a Bundy sort of issue here. We definitely need to seek some and work through it more than just keep drawing in your pictures. Just take all your pictures. Just keep adding more horrendous things to your picture book. Here's a picture book you can draw more in. Yes. This psychiatrist is great.
Yes. So when it falls in the water, all of her little sketches like this, the crazy things, come to life, and they all have their own little abilities and do this. So the family is trying to struggle with this and pull it all together at the same time. So it makes it difficult. So what is the message with this? she eventually, I guess, without being too much of a spoiler, works through these problems. The father works through his of losing his wife, and her brother works through his issues. They all are dealing with grief in a different way. And hers is basically this boss match at the end, is an alter ego of herself. And in that battle, a struggle, she overcomes it physically, and then everything goes away. But that really doesn't resolve I don't think
it doesn't resolve
the
it.
underlying
It doesn't resolve
problem.
it. The underlining message to the dad and the brother was, hey, you should probably stop trying to help people. Trying to help her. In the fact they even say this, they're sorry for trying to fix her when they should have been fixing themselves. Which, okay, yes, you need to deal with the grief yourself, absolutely. But if someone's over there drawing pictures of their classmates being impaled by a monster, mind you, that seems like a bit of an issue.
It is
a bit of an issue.
Yeah. So a couple more comments here. Eric looks displeased, even discussing.
Oh, I really did not like this movie. I watched this thing and I'm like, oh my gosh.
Have you given anything a 2 before?
I don't think I've ever given anything 2.
You given a 1?
I've not given a 1.
I've given some pretty
a
low
10.
ratings.
I haven't given a 1. I keep those in reserve for really bad ones, and even 2 is like, okay, if I give a 2, I'm really not happy with this. It's mostly, again, it's because of who it came from that plays a big part in it.
Yeah, that's true.
And that leads to a lot of disappointment. If this was a random studio putting forth, I wouldn't even looked at it. If it was a random studio that put forth, but since it was Angel Studios, okay.
Agreed. And I usually don't do kids shows. Don't usually review them if they're maybe strongly Christian based, or in this case, Angel Studios, which I do want to support their work in general. That's why I chose to do the review on this. I thought, well, okay, maybe it's, and now I'm glad we did, because we can give a little bit of a warning to say, watch what you can go ahead and watch this, but just be aware what you're getting yourself into. Set those expectations. Don't be like me, walking in having one level of expectations and then have those subverted on the other. One here. Thomas said, there's just no reason for foul language in kids' movie. It's to entertain. If it's to entertain the adults are there for themselves. They're there to share something with the kids. Really annoys me. I would agree. It was out of place. It
things that, in fact, this even goes into Jack Ray's last comment there. Things that target kids annoy me. And I'd say that Islam targets kids and this targets kids, and it annoys me when something, again, if it was sold as this was young adults or even late teens, okay, this is a movie for them, fine. But the main characters wouldn't have been that young. They are well under the age that should have been at the movie theater.
Yeah, I would have written this differently.
I would have done what I said earlier, which would have been more fairy tale sort of.
Yeah.
Like fantasy. You go in there and the big bad guy comes, but then it's overpowered later on. Maybe it's dealing something with the loss. I think that would have been,
I would still
better.
have the loss of the kids. One thing my daughter asked me after the movie is, I just asked her what she thought, and she said, "How'd the mom die?"
Yeah, no explanation of that.
In a lot of cases, you don't need to show that level of detail, but because it was such a poignant thing, them dealing with the grief, it would be good to know if this was something sudden, if this was, because that makes a difference on the grief process. If it was something sudden, or if it was a long illness that she had, and finally she had relief.
I'd say it seemed to imply that was sudden. And yes, that's something that kids unfortunately get hit with as well. I mean, this is a fallen world. It's nasty, and they have to deal with it the same. And there's nothing wrong with exploring that in a story. Don't get me wrong. But not in this way.
So to answer Ray's question earlier, what's the message? Part of the message was, be a little bit of a spoiler here, but I'm going to say it anyway, is she also had good drawings. And those were a positive thing. So she realized, okay, now I need to, this overcomes
Yeah, I would have
the bad.
I would have probably flipped it a bit, but yeah, in my story, I would have flipped it.
Yeah,
but I had a bit more explanation on what is with the Carmax pond.
Carmax being the color of the pond.
Yeah. You add Carmax to a pond to kill algae, and it turns it blue.
Blue color.
And then it's like that's what they use. Was like, I know exactly what's in that water. You don't want to swim in there because there's no actual oxygen in the water. It's going to be bad because it kills the algae that would grow on it. But it doesn't bring things to life.
So I need to say one thing about what the boy was trying to do. The boy in his grief, he tried to. They had his mom's ashes. She was cremated, and he wanted to bring her ashes to the pond, and to have his mom basically resurrected.
And they never explored why that was a bad idea. Not really.
No.
It was resolved through the movie in a different way, but not by any of the characters' development.
So we got Ryan Schultz here. Hi, buddy. He's been a guest on the show before. Angel Studios have been a bit or miss. Have been, I think you mean a hit or miss in the last number of movies. How does this one compare?
Worse.
Angel Studios is,
in my opinion,
hit or
has
been a hit or maybe a miss in the last number. Okay, so he just edited himself. So one thing that that I discovered after the fact is Angel Studios did not produce this. It was not within their studios. This is something they distributed.
It really looked like it, though. It looked like something that was produced.
Yeah,
that's the problem. So that left to brand confusion.
Yes. So that was part of the problem with it, and has a lot to do with the disappointment I believe that people are feeling with the film. Get a commentary. Pet Cemetery Resurrected. Never saw it, but heard the story. So I guess that's in a way with the pond
film.
It is. I think that was Stephen King, if I remember right.
Yeah, this would be on I would say probably same level sort of idea. As far as
I would say, it's not quite as dark.
It's not quite as dark, but it's not as well written either.
No.
That was more well written.
So, take another look at the portion of the trailer, and then I've got a big question to ask you. It had to do with the thumbnail. Also.
You guys ready? No, I don't want to do this. I have to go to the bathroom. You couldn't have gone before we put all the stuff on? I didn't have to go then. Now I have to go too. Oh.
So that's part of the kid humor that's in there.
Really poorly placed, in my opinion.
They the whole thing with the water guns is some of these is chalk based, so you can destroy some monsters with water. Others you have to use.
Their weakness
like
is
crayon for if something's written crayon, that they would use heat for that.
Yeah, hopefully don't have a hot summer day.
Yeah,
or else most of the monsters will be gone. If it rained, all your problems are solved there as well.
Some of them, not all of them, because
you had permanent ink marker monsters.
Yes,
which
and crayon. You wouldn't have a problem with crayon with water.
What? No, but it's hot summer day.
Yes,
Have you ever had crayons in your car on a hot summer day?
Yes,
they're gone.
I was
they're
traumatized.
Gone.
It was bad.
It's just a pool of nothing but crayon.
My favorite color, midnight blue, was gone. It was a part of the pool. All right. So, question is, are the monsters demonic? Were they designed by the writers to be demons? Are they demons by nature due to their materialization and actions, regardless of the author's intent? To kind of get a glimpse of that a little bit more, let's take another glimpse at the trailer.
You're incredibly creative. But life is all about balancing the good and the bad.
It needs to be a weapon. A huge gun. No. A small gun. No. A bunch of small guns. Stop talking.
So, Ways that these monsters resemble demons. Now, this is part of the reason why I'm going into this is because as she's dealing with the grief, her thoughts turn dark and they start to go down this territory, which could be, in terms of spiritual warfare, allowing a foothold for the enemy to take a hold and run with it. So, in what ways were the monsters in this movie like demons? Now, my knee-jerk reaction was to say, it's a kids movie. This is just fantasy and stuff like that. So we can start looking at all kids movies and fantasies as if there's real demons and stuff. I think what's different about this is because of the emotional impact that it had on the kids and the way they responded. So this could be a talking point that you would have for someone, again, not looking necessarily for Christian themes, but there could be some Christian theology that would be in there as well. So I'm going to put this open to you as an open question. In what ways were the monsters in this movie like demons, and in what ways were they not? And I'm going to put that as part of a question to you, Eric.
I'd say that if I were to look at this from a spiritual aspect, I'd say this was heavily influenced probably by Buddhism, is what I would say, with the balance aspect and all the bad that's there can be overcome by your own good, which again is not a Christian message.
Well, in some ways, okay, so from a psychological standpoint, if she has all negative thoughts without any positive thoughts, that's a bad thing. So in that way, that is a balance, is a good thing, right?
Yes. But you're specifically talking about the demonic aspect. They were dark, they were scary, but that's about all they have in relation, I would say. I mean, they want your downfall. That would be a demonic aspect.
Yep.
But the way you defeat them, again, you spray them with water on a couple occasions, throw fire at another, and then another one, she just beats up herself because...
Yeah. So physical attack. The monsters, like the dark hooded being, Amber's self-portrait at the end, the boss, or the skull-faced demons that seems in some scenes evoked demonic imagery with their eerie, menacing looks. The hooded figure's ability to draw more creatures mirrors a demonic forces spreading chaos. So this was a mirror image of her doing this hooded creature. It's like, the evil version of her.
I'm pretty sure that's how she depicted herself. Just thought of herself that way.
Right. So in that way, that does mirror demonic, but it not
downplays.
So.
If we were to paralyze it, these are so weak in comparison to what demonic forces actually are. They're pathetic. Yeah.
So one of the big things that was not answered was what's the power of the pawn? Where did that come from? What's that? And if it's just fantasy, just hand waving, that's fine. It would have been much.
Well, they kind of left it there.
Meaning what?
They didn't do anything with it. It was still there.
I know. Okay, wait. That's too much of a spoiler, but yes.
We have been on this for 40 minutes. We can get to the spoiler
Okay,
already.
all right. Because the spoiler alert, let me see if I have to. I had a spoiler alert. We'll just go ahead and put that up. I wasn't going to do that till later, but here we go. Spoiler alert. So the spoiler warning going from here. If you don't want to hear anymore and you want to go see this movie, go see it. Turn this off.
And just listen. It's save you some money.
Yeah. So yeah, well, that's one of the big downfalls. So that's when I downgraded it. One of the reasons why I downgraded is because it doesn't resolve. I mean, they get rid of the boss. It looks like they're getting rid of the monsters because she puts the good stuff in, and that comes in and destroys all the bad stuff.
Yeah, and they're still there at the good stuff never goes away either. It's now part of the world.
Right. So you have these little creatures that are bouncing around. It's supposed to be that she has balanced thoughts in terms of the good and the bad. And there's good things in life too. You don't have to just focus on the negative. You can focus on the positive. I don't know if that's so much Buddhism. I think that's just good balancing of overall thoughts. Fix your minds on things above, not on earthly things. So
yeah, but these weren't things above. These
below.
Were all earthly things.
Things below. Dave smashing trucks or eiders. She called them eiders, which I thought was kind of cute.
Yeah. Eiders to kill her, to pull out her daddy's eyeballs.
But they only stole his cup and stuff.
Okay, they only showed that part on screen where they stole his cup. She specifically said, as she drew them, that they're there to steal your stuff, your cup, your phone, your eyeballs. Whoa.
One
Went
thing
dark
that
fast.
they're like demons would be that they're associated with the negative emotions and negative feelings, the worst feelings that you have. But then the ways that they don't have this supernatural origin. They have some origin in the pond. We don't think that's supernatural. Is that supernatural with the pond? It's unknown.
I guess it would
We
be
don't know.
magical in some way, but yeah, it's never explored. The whole thing with the mom, since we're now in spoiler territory, it's like, okay, they were going to throw in the ashes, and the boy was going to throw in the ashes, and it just got a hole in it, and the ashes were spread everywhere. So that really doesn't actually resolve it. In my opinion, it robs from the characters, because the characters could have made the decision themselves. Instead of making the decision, the story took the decision from them.
That's a good point.
And they no longer even have the option to say, is it good that we would bring back or not? What were the actual impacts?
Okay, so getting back to the questions of demonic or not, went through the three that they were like demons, then there's three that they are not. Artistic and not supernatural. Origin, the film makes it clear that monsters are Amber's drawings brought to life by the pond's unexplained magic, not demonic entities. I don't know if that's very clear in there or not. Number two, no intentional demonic design by the writer. Seth Worley's script, as noted in reviews, focuses on grief and creativity, not spiritual evil. He made a comment to The Wrap, confirming the monsters are metaphors for Amber's emotions and not demons. So he said that outright himself. Number three, there's a redemptive resolution, which happens to do with how she fights against this hooded figure, which is really just a representation of herself. So I don't know. This is, but if you're taking kids, know that it's more like Goosebumps than The Exorcist in terms of the level of demonic activity. It's more on the level of like Goosebumps.
Yeah.
So I'm going to check comments here because I think we got a couple more coming. And so any Christian themes. Okay, so this is what I was talking about earlier. I don't want to necessarily mix a whole lot of Christian themes with this. We'll usually do with movies, to say that there's a redemptive nature with it, because the way that it was marketed sounds like it was Christian, but then it
wasn't. The only thing I could really pull out of this is dealing with grief. Yeah, they don't deal with it correctly in this, but yes, you need to deal with grief, and the nuclear family is good.
Yeah, the nuclear family is good.
That's about it.
The dad really does help, so it's a positive. Yay, we got a good dad here.
Yeah, but that's it. That's it. And granted, the dad kind of screws up a lot, but
dads too.
But
it's not really.
It's him trying to figure out how to be both parents now that there's been a loss, and that's to be expected.
Yeah. So, 91% alcohol messes permanent ink. Yes.
Yep.
And so we didn't introduce the kids with alcohol, but yes, Jack, go ahead. Introduce the kids with alcohol. That'll work. I'm just kidding. No, you're fine, buddy. Does it?
Don't run across anyone with a beer. That would be a nightmare for the monsters.
It sounds like summoning demons. The kids playing with the Ouija board. It wasn't intentional like that. Other than
it was.
She discovers the brother first discovers it by he has a cracked cell phone and he has a cut on his hand. And he accidentally drops the phone into the pond. Grabs it real quick. His hand is healed. And the cell phone is mended.
Yes. Which is like, okay, what the heck is actually happening here? Because it's fixing organic and inorganic objects.
Right.
And how does it know to do that?
Right. This movie should be spoiled in all kinds of ways. You'd agree with me or agree with you. Did this movie damage Angel Studios' reputation? What direction movie would you like to see them go in?
If this is a one-off, no. But if they continue to do this sort of pattern, the answer is yeah, Angel Studios would mean their mark would mean nothing, in my opinion.
I saw, okay, so they did have a preview for another one coming out. They're putting stuff out left and right. And so another one was one on football. It's called The Senior. And the premise on this one was you have this guy, maybe in his 40s or whatever, and he was not able to either finish high school or not able to finish his competing in football. And he went back and he actually tried to do it again. That's a little creepy, if you ask me, a 4-year-old going there. But he wanted to do it because he wanted to be able to achieve this goal he's never able to achieve. That looked interesting. And I think there's humor involved in
that one as well. And yes, that did look that looked better than this movie. And then there was another one that looked like some World War II, another dip into World War II. And dealing with Nazi Germany and the Holocaust.
Now, they did that before with Bonhoeffer, and we did a review on that.
Again, it would have been, I would have given it a higher score if it wasn't poorly marketed.
Bonhoeffer?
Yeah, because I think they marketed it as a completely different movie than what it actually was.
Cabrini was a good one, though.
Cabrini was good.
Cabrini was another, that was historical, not for kids, but done. So I don't think we've seen the demise of Angel Studios. If they do stupid stuff over and over, then yeah, it's going to happen.
If they're just going to start sticking their sticker on indie films and selling it as their brand's going to mean nothing.
Okay, so sure, the writer can say not demons, like that cave demon was actually Jabril with Muhammad.
Yep.
Yes, don't look at the man behind the curtain. And also making a piece of media that can be enjoyed by adults and kids is possible just with good writing. Yeah. It's very difficult. I would agree with you 100%. NZ Gamer. Is that New Zealand Gamer? Yeah, it's difficult, but you can do it. You're talking on two levels. So, the adults say something, it doesn't need to be an innuendo. It doesn't need to be, double entendre or anything like that. But the adults, something can be said on the adult level, and the kids will have their subtext or whatever, or vice versa.
I'd say a lot of like the 90s movies and stuff like that were decent in that regard.
Like what?
Able to make, enjoyed Jumanji quite a bit. I enjoyed watching the kids shows with them. I enjoyed watching, like Aladdin and Lion King and all that stuff. It's like, okay, it's kiddie, yeah, but
it's good writing.
For parents, they get to enjoy it with their kids, and that's okay.
Jack Ray's trying to redeem himself. Should we let him? Rubbing alcohol, thus 91% isopropyl, not the drinking type. Yes. Yeah. You are 100% correct.
Yep, and take care of the markers.
And I was messing
absolutely
with you
destroy them.
I don't look at the. Okay, no, we're gonna pass by that. I saw Zoot, and that was El Zoot, and that was enough. I don't need
Zoot. We almost made it through the entire...
We almost did it, and I clicked on it. I shouldn't have. Well,
even the apologetics conference we had, we almost made it through the entire thing without a Zoot reference up until the debate, and then they had to ask the El Zoot questions.
Yeah. Strap of the eye. So you're not defiled by what goes into you, by what comes out of you. If then the light within you is darkness, how great that darkness. Sound like what the grief-stricken kid was dealing with.
Opposite of what the message was at the beginning of it with the dad. Because it was like, well, you can't control your inbox, but you control your outbox. And what was her outbox? Her outbox was doing all the pictures.
Yeah, that was an analogy.
That was all her.
Yeah.
So what was coming out of her?
Well, let's explain that to people who haven't seen the movie. The girl was explaining to the school psychologist how her dad had taught her about you're responsible for your outbox, not so much for your inbox. Right?
Well, the counselor kind of screwed it up because, again, I would disagree with the counselor. You can definitely control how you react to people. If the counselor is like, well, you can't control how others make you feel. It's like, yes, you can. You can actually control how others make you feel.
Whether you let it bother you or not.
Whether you let it bother you, whether you look at it poorly or not. Because if you look at it optimistically, then you can turn quite a few things around. But yeah, the concept was, well, then what do you put out? What are you sending out? And what she was sending out was what she was putting in her books, which, yeah, so definitely being defiled then.
Yeah.
According to that verse.
Yeah. So that's a good point. Let's take another look at the trailer. This is the last section of it. See if we can glean anything else from it on this.
You guys, we almost died in a bus crash. A monster tried to eat me. I'd come all this way, pee my pants twice, just to give up and go home. Wait, you peed your pants twice?
I see you colored it in.
Do you think it made it less scary?
Oh, no. No, you don't have to worry about that.
Yep. I think that about sizes it up. Would you say?
Yeah, that about sizes it up. Yep. Yeah.
Another comment from Ryan. He said, "Would this have been better short film than a feature length in the theaters?" I don't know. I wouldn't say that. You could still have feature length.
Feature length would have been fine. I would definitely drop some of the elements. I think the whole trying to sell the house on top of everything else, I think that ended up being more of a distraction than actual
I would disagree.
Plot.
I would disagree, and I'll tell you why. So during this whole thing, they're trying to sell the house, and you have the tension of the father trying to deal with that and his kids at the same time, because he can't go in the house while this is happening. His sister, who is the realtor, so their aunt, is
I
doing
was
it.
looking forward to getting
Plus what the monsters do to the house. They mess it up, and the kids come in with a hose and start spraying all these things down.
Yeah, but by that point, they had already abandoned the whole selling the house thing because they'd already involved the monster part. The problem is there was a lot of spinning plates, and none of them was, in my opinion, focused on enough to bring it into full
so you're
light.
saying that would have been too much of a distraction.
Yeah, if you were to chop off the selling of the house, I think that would have you could still have dad ticked off about the whole, you're messing up the house part. But
the other part to that too is spoiler. They come back at the end and it's all back together like the Enterprise on the next episode after it's been nearly destroyed, and somehow Scotty has put it all together and you're not even in space dock. How did you do that?
Yeah, it looks like nothing actually happened.
It looked like nothing had happened to the houses. Come on, guys. There should be consequences here, right? In a film. So, and
it seems like he didn't sell it in the end anyway.
No. A do not watch movie. I would say generally so. I mean, if you want to, if you're all up in the Goonies and stuff like that, go for it. But
watch Goonies.
Just be aware these other things are here. If you go in with the expectation this is Angel Studios for movie for kids and it's fun family stuff, it's not. I joined here late. What is the main issue with the movie again?
Poor pacing, poor writing, poor advertisement. No spiritual element on a movie with the Angel Studios brand. Those would be the main issues, I'd say. Really dark aspects to it that can be demonic, even though, according to the person said they weren't actually intended to be, but definitely could be interpreted as demonic.
So I would say poor pacing, too many unknowns, weak world building. They didn't know what the rules were for this pond that brought things to life. They never resolved it at the end, which made for a weak final boss battle. You have the unfinished business at the end where this pond is still here. You saw these creatures running around and nothing's happened. So they're sort of like Jumanji, but it doesn't seal back up to everything going back to normal.
Yeah, it's just left open-ended. And granted, Jumanji was pretty dark, actually.
Yeah, it was.
I was surprised. I rewatched it again, and I was like, wow, I forgot how dark this actually was.
So yeah. Would you say this is somewhat on the same level as Jumanji in that regard?
As far as darkness goes?
Yeah.
I'd say probably. Yeah. I'd say this is a little bit darker. But even then, worse written. Way worse written.
Yeah. I did enjoy Jumanji. In fact, it's one of my favorite films. So I would, I wouldn't come down too hard on this because of that. But there's some weak writing that's in there. Some good acting.
Yes. And again, Jumanji did not come with the label of being a Christian film.
Correct. But it was like a kid's film, though, in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
Right?
So, yeah.
So that's another part to it. And he says, sounds like the writer needs Jesus. Yes, we all do. So that's
an all the above answer.
Yeah, I would agree. Star Trek 3 opening scene, Enterprise burnt and scorched heading into space dock. Yes, they did.
Sort of level.
Yes. That's what the home should have been. When we have Ryan back on, he's so insightful and cool.
I think he's asking.
Yeah, we need
in the third person.
We need to set something up, and you and I will talk, and maybe we'll pick something that's one of your favorites.
I like Jack Wright's answer.
What do you say? Third person self-reference. I have no idea what he's talking about, Jack. None at all. None at all. So, yeah, that was it. We're never gonna be done. You forgot modest.
Modest.
If you know Ryan, and he is a modest, self-giving individual who knows that he's a modest, self-giving individual. In fact, will tell you that he is a modest.
He's the most modest.
Most modest, most self-giving individual. And smartest.
That part of the Bible that's like one of the
with Moses?
With Moses. It's like, he's the most modest. It's like, okay, hold on. Who wrote this one?
That's true. That's true. Okay. So coming up, do you have anything coming up on your channel that you want to share with anybody?
Sure. I'll be doing a review on Wednesday. I got some stuff in the works. I might do a spin-off channel here pretty soon, or maybe in the next couple months, or maybe next year, kind of on time frame on learning a bunch of new stuff, which should be awfully fun. This Saturday, though, we'll be going through the 5 pillars of Islam and where to find them, because a lot of Muslims don't realize where you actually find them.
Find them. Oh, find them in
where you find them.
I think they're in Mecca, aren't they? The 5 pillars somewhere in Mecca.
The 5 main tenets of Islam, where you actually find them, and the details about them.
It must be like that you must pray 5 times a day facing towards Mecca. Just like that's in the Quran. Then maybe
maybe not.
Maybe not in the Quran, huh?
Maybe not in the Quran. Maybe in a hadith.
But it was such a clear book. Anybody could read it and just know exactly what's going on. Why is that not there?
Well, that and the zakat. How much you actually have to pay? Oh, yes, you have to pay zakat. They didn't. The percentage. We'll write that down 200 years.
Okay.
We'll get back to you on that.
Yes. So all those fun stuff, you can check out his channel for that and more. And we are going to be returning next week to yes, it is up. The Defenders of the West, doing number 5, Warrior Saint. This is Saint Louis. And we're getting back to Defenders of the West. We're going to be popping those in by viewer request. So I've had some people say they'd like to get back into this again. So we're going to check that out. So I'm looking forward to that. And hopefully you will too. We want to give you guys good information as much as possible, whether it's in current culture or if it is apologetics, one or the other that's there, and do that. And if you haven't read my book, please do that too and give me a good review. So that's fun too. So again, for everyone here, have courage. Don't just take care. Have courage. And we'll see you.
Oh, and in case I don't see you, good afternoon, good evening, and good night.